Hi and welcome back. Today in Cape Town, it's cold and pouring with rain. You might even hear it in the background. I'm really glad you're here. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who reached out after the first episode. Your messages truly meant so much to me. So many of you shared how deeply you recognized yourselves in that pattern of controlling, forcing, holding everything together. And I want you to know you are not alone in that. And the fact that you're here, listening, still willing to look inward, that says a lot about you. Thank you as well to those of you who requested the Recover You Companion Guide. I am so glad it resonated, and I hope that it supports you in your own quiet way on your journey. Today we're going a little deeper. We're talking about the versions of ourselves we've carried for so long that we forgot we ever put them on. The identities that weren't consciously chosen, but shaped by life, by responsibility, love, or survival. And what happens when those versions stop fitting? There's a moment in life, often almost invisible, where you begin to see that much of who you are was built in response to something external. Not your joy, curiosity, or even your desire, but from necessity. And growth, real growth, isn't always about adding more. Sometimes it's about unlearning, letting go of what no longer serves you, even if it once protected you. For me, strength arrived early and quietly. As a mum with twin daughters, a demanding career, and very little margin for softness, I became the reliable one, the capable one, the one who handled things and the one who showed up no matter what. And I want to be clear, I'm not telling you this as a complaint. I loved my daughters fiercely and I still do. And part of me genuinely found meaning in being that steady, capable presence. It wasn't all armor, it was real. But somewhere along the way, the capability stopped being a quality I expressed and became the only thing I was allowed to be. And when you're only ever allowed to be strong, you lose access to the rest of yourself, the softer parts, the uncertain parts, the I don't know and I need help parts. Those go underground. One day I noticed I was doing life well, but not living it. I was coping, managing, functioning, but not thriving. And the gap between those two things was where something needed to change. We wear our coping mechanisms like badges of honor. I manage, I cope, I'm fine. And we say it so often and with such conviction that we stop questioning it. But coping comes at a cost. It disconnects us from our bodies, from our intuition, from spontaneity and play and genuine feelings, from the version of ourselves that exists underneath all these roles. Over time, you forget who you were before the armor. Or worse, you can start to believe that the armor is all that you are. That without it, there's nothing worth seeing. I had a friend once tell me, very gently, that I was the most organized person she knew, and that I always seemed like I was holding everything together. She said it with love, but it landed deeply, because she was right. I didn't realize how much I was carrying until I started putting some of it down. The first time I said no, truly without guilt, and not just without explanation, but without the whole internal argument, I felt it in my body. A small tremor of fear, and then a surprising lightness. Something in me lit up. It was just one word, but it shifted something. Because in that moment, I began to realize my value was never in how much I did for others. It was simply in being there, in being me. Here's a question I'd like you to sit with for a moment. Whose voice told you that you had to be this way? Not accusingly, just curiously. Because most of the identities we're unlearning today weren't chosen by us, they were inherited from parents who themselves were surviving, from cultures that rewarded selflessness and punished vulnerability, from relationships that taught us our value was conditional on our usefulness. I grew up watching the adults around me work themselves to exhaustion without complaint. That was the model. That was what love looked like. That was what worth looked like. And I took it in, the way we all do, quietly, completely, and without question. Unlearning that doesn't mean disrespecting where it came from. It means choosing consciously what you want to carry forward and what you're ready to set down. It means having the maturity to say, this served a purpose. I'm grateful for it, and I'm choosing something different now. It's also the quiet act of breaking a cycle, gently but intentionally, so it doesn't continue through you in the same way. Unlearning happens quietly, not in grand revelations or dramatic breakthroughs. In small, ordinary moments where you put down the phone and the distractions and sit with yourself long enough to hear the honest voice underneath the performing one. For me, those moments come when I'm on my daily walk, just moving through without rushing anywhere, or even when I'm listening to a podcast and something in it lands in a way that makes me pause and think. Sometimes it's when I'm completely absorbed in a creative project, writing, making, experimenting, where time softens and I forget to perform. And what I've heard in those quieter spaces has been more useful than any advice I've ever been given. Silence doesn't flatter the ego. It doesn't confirm the stories we tell about ourselves. But if you stay with it, if you resist the urge to fill it, something gentle surfaces. Not the version of you shaped by necessity, but the truer one. The one that knows what feels right for you before the world gets a chance to tell you otherwise. That version is still in there, even if you haven't heard from him or her in a while. The armour served you once. It doesn't need to lead you anymore. So here's something simple to try this week. Take 5 minutes, morning, evening, whenever you can find them, and ask yourself honestly, where am I performing today? Where am I proving something to someone or to myself? Breathe into that place. You don't have to fix it, just notice it. And if you're willing to imagine for a moment what it would feel like to set it down just for today. Choose one moment to act from presence instead of performance. One small moment where you respond from what's actually true for you rather than from who you've been expected to be all this time. That's it. That's the whole practice. One moment, one breath, one tiny step toward the truer version of you. Thank you for listening till the end of episode 2. Next week, we go into silence more deeply and explore what becomes possible when you stop filling every quiet moment with noise. Wishing you a week ahead full of love and some introspective moments sprinkled in. Thank you for being here, and catch you on the next episode.